Hi there, my name is Sablle Scheppmann. I'm applying for the third class of the SYFLA Leadership Academy. I'm really excited about it, and I'm here to answer a few quick questions for you guys, and I'll be reading them from over here. So, question number one, tell us about a recent situation you have been in where you've interacted with somebody completely different than you. First thing that came to mind that I talk to family and friends about still is reconnecting with my uncle, who I grew up with but haven't seen in over a decade. My Uncle Brad lives in a really small town of 1,700 people in Iowa. He's a hunter, he's a fisherman, that's how he provides for his family. From things like your day-to-day life to social and economic policy that we don't agree on, we couldn't be any more polar opposite, but having these open conversations with my uncle really taught me and showed me that we live in such a small bubble, and you have to be comfortable going outside your bubble to learn and grow from other people and really respect and listen to how they got to where they are and their values, and absorbing all you can to understand how different people think about certain things, instead of being stuck in your bubble and really only focusing on what your opinions and values are. So it really taught me to be even more open than I already am about other people and their lifestyles, and just absorbing that. So question number two, what are you obsessed with right now? What are you learning about, and how do you actively pursue learning about this topic? I'm always obsessed with something. It changes all the time, but whether it's one specific policy that I'm obsessed with researching about, or right now we have the fires going on in Northern California, so every day I'm constantly updating and looking into that and seeing how that's going. But something I'm consistently obsessed with is people's stories. I feel like everybody has a story, everybody has a background, and whether it's positive or a struggle or something they've been through. For example, I'm that girl that's always talking your ear off on an airplane and in airports. I always want to hear somebody random story, and meeting new people, you get to do that. Also, I love hearing about people who I would like to emulate and look up to. So recently I went to a Camber Outdoors event where you get to hear from different female CEOs and how they got to where they are, how they started their company, where they see the industry going, but learning from these really powerful women about how they really became successful, and the challenges they might face. But really just learning from other people and hearing those different stories is something I'm always obsessed with, whether it's online. Question number three, outside of the outdoor industry, who do you think is making big, necessary culture change, how and why? Women. I feel like now more than ever, there's so many more women coming out and speaking up about what they believe in, from different ages, professions, genders, ethnicities. It's women coming together and really talking about the things they believe in. I think it was something, for example, the Women's March, over 3 million people or something around there came out just to talk about what they believe in, and it wasn't just women, it was men, it was everybody, and it wasn't about one specific issue. I felt like every woman was marching for something different that they were passionate about, which is wonderful. And I feel like gender initiatives go hand in hand with culture initiatives. So it's making a big swing right now, and I feel like it's always going to be slow change, but there's progress, and we have a long way to go. But things from equality in the workplace, equal pay, having a positive body image, policies surrounding women, the more women we can get involved, I think the more progressive the change is going to be. And in recent years it's only gotten better, and I think it's only up from here, to support equality for women, and that's a huge culture change that I support and am passionate about right now. Question number four, what extracurricular activity have you worked the hardest for? Sorry about the construction in the background, but I feel like I could talk anybody's ear off about this. Hands down, it's running. I have been a runner for 15 years. It all started in middle school when I ran the mile, continued in high school, and then I ran in college as well for 4 years. So it's something that is a big part of my life, and it's the thing that I'm most passionate about in my life. So currently I am an ultra runner, so after college I started doing a lot more trails, and I wouldn't say that in high school or middle school is when I found my love for running, or college. I think I really found my love for running after college when, I got to run for me instead of being pushed to hit certain times and do certain things. It's trail running especially made me find my passion for running, because when I'm out there I can completely zone out. On the trails you can run for miles and you can think about everything, or you can find yourself 5 miles in thinking about absolutely nothing. So it's peaceful. It's something that I feel like is my anti-drug. When you're stressed from work, I go for a run. If I'm stressed from anything, I go for a run. And it's something, like I said, I've worked really hard for, and I feel like I've had to give a lot up for it. A lot of social events and other things, because people my age not as many people, or a lot of my friends are doing 50 milers, so they don't have to go for a 5-hour run on a Saturday and give up their Friday night. So it's something that I continue to work hard for. It's something that is my job, so I eat, sleep, and breathe running. With Nathan, I'm constantly getting to talk to other runners, which is amazing. So going to different events and meeting new people and caring about their running, it's a huge part of my life, and it's something that'll never end, and I call it the itch you can't scratch. So I might finish one race, whether it's 50K or 50 mile, and then I want to do another one the next day. And currently my goal is to one day do 100, lofty goal that is really time consuming, but one day I hope to get there, because like I said, it's something that's never going to stop. I'm always going to be focused on, and it's a huge part of my life. Question number 5, if you were to bring forth one big idea to the outdoor industry, what would it be? So I feel like a really big problem, and it's no secret, I'm sure you guys know, but the really big change from retail to e-com right now is really affecting our local independent stores, whether it's in the health and fitness industry or the outdoor industry, both of those. But years ago it all started, this idea, when I was first out of college. I had a job working in what I call the concrete jungle of San Francisco. We didn't have any windows. I was behind a cubicle all day, and none of my coworkers wanted to go on a walk during lunch, and if I came back sweaty from a run, it was looked down upon. And I realized that when my company gave us a survey for health and wellness, and you filled it out and you got a $10 stipend if you said you worked out X amount, so people would just fill it out and say they worked out and you get $10, wasn't really promoting health and wellness within our huge corporation I was working for. So my idea is kind of merging those, and it starts with going into companies of all different sizes and building custom programs, whether it's health and wellness or it's in the outdoor space, but to get employees outside and doing other activities that will promote them to be better in their job. I feel like being outside is really energizing, and doing that will make them more productive in their work. So the company would be building programs for various companies and going in and providing them with those solutions, and it can fall under 2 buckets, so health and wellness or outdoor, and it'll bring the retailers, the local retailers, in to give lunch and learns, for instance, on camping 101 or gear 101, and then the health and wellness could be a local running store fitting the employees with shoes and building a 5K program for them, and eventually having a race for just the employees, or doing pedometers, so you can give pedometers to employees and they can compete against each other. So instead of walking across the street for lunch, they might walk a mile down the street because they're trying to get in their steps. Eventually you can have companies competing against each other, but the premise to this is building these custom programs to promote being aware of local retailers, because I feel like your average person isn't very aware unless you're really involved in just running or just camping. So bringing them in to create exposure and drive people into the doors of retail who might not otherwise know about it and go just online. And secondarily, it's to promote health and wellness instead of just sitting behind a desk all day and being more productive at work, because you have healthier employees and going outside is really energizing. So it promotes both of those things, and I think this idea could do that. And there's a lot of different aspects to it that you would have to iron out, but it would solve, I feel like, 2 of those big problems. Bonus question. Who is your favorite person, company, or whatever that you follow on social media? I am always psyched to hear from a company called High Fives Foundation. I'll start with a small story about how I started following it. Years ago, my friend was in a snowboarding accident and fractured his neck and is now wheelchair bound. And it was a really big deal for him, and it was hard for his friends and family, but this organization came in and showed him that it was okay, and they helped put him in PT to get back to where he wanted to be and get him outside again, which is really difficult when you're in a wheelchair. But now he's on the USA Paralympic surfing team, and it's all because of High Fives Foundation. It's a nonprofit that helps people who are wheelchair bound get back to the activities that they love. And most of these people were in activities for sports that they do love, and they were doing something they loved when this unfortunate accident happened. But this company is so inspiring that they raise money for these people to have a car that they could drive and to go surfing, even though they can't move their legs, and get them up and out. And so I'm always psyched to see a post from them. I'm always psyched to support them in their various events. To wrap this up, thank you guys for listening to my questions. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to be a part of this academy. This is a tough one, but squirrel distraction. This is